Okay, right about now, or even a little bit before this, is when I'm getting physically and mentally ready for this trip today and the ones that immediately follow it. I'm actually scheduled between now throughout the weekend to drive. So I decided to go for a walk today and start using my local neighborhood gym that just opened up probably about a month or two ago. I was waiting for the grand opening crowd to die down a little bit, which it kind of did. I mean, it wasn't crowded. There was a lot of people. There was quite a few people in there, but I was able to negotiate it just fine. I just don't really do crowds. I don't do crowded gyms. I don't wait on gym accessories, gym equipment. I don't wait in line for that. But what I will do is I'll work on something that no one else is using, and then I'll transition to whatever else I need to use. And that way I'm in and out within 45 minutes, and I achieve some benefit from it. Today was just a kind of a refresher, which only lasted about a half hour, but as I might have mentioned, I walked to the gym, which was a distance of roughly 3 miles. Yeah, about 3 miles. 3 miles one way. So I managed to get a 6-mile walk in, leisurely stroll. I'm not really trying to power walk. I'm not trying to walk too fast. I'm breaking in some new shoes. And on top of that, it's been a while. So I'm kind of easing into it. Trying to get everything, all the gear going, get myself acclimated. Took in the nutrients some of the nutrients that I needed, but when I really train, I take in other substances, such as deer antler velvet, creatine monohydrate, and some nitrous oxide. I use all those substances to my advantage, and it works for me. Because at this age, I'm reinitiating a full body workout plan for myself that works for me. And the walking actually helps, which I'm considering this will be my main way to go to and from the gym. I mean, other than going like super early in the morning, which I plan on doing, because that's when the squat benches are more likely to be empty. The squat platforms. I'll probably go like before dawn, but I won't walk. I won't walk through here that early in the morning or late at night. During hours of darkness, it's not safe. So what I'd rather do is just, drive up there early in the morning, or dark 30, do what I got to do, early in the morning when nobody's really there, and start my day that way, or work out, go to sleep, and then wake up later on. Because I get my sleep, trust me, but I'm just not on the traditional schedule. I'm not on a 9 to 5, a 10 to 6. I'm not on that type of schedule. I work different hours of the day. The fortunate thing about this particular company that I'm working with now, though, is I've tended to notice that the early morning startups, I won't say they're few and far between, but they don't happen as often as I expect them to. Like, for instance, I remember working for a carrier where I was always starting at 2:30, 3 o'clock, 4 in the morning, way before dawn. This trip that I'm doing today, since it's a school group, it's going to start after the school stuff is done. It's not going to start till the evening time. So my yard time isn't until 5 o'clock in the evening, which is prime rush hour. And I'm a 35-minute distance away from Spot, which means I have to make the effort to get into the yard earlier than normal. And I may not necessarily get paid for that period of time. So those are very real considerations to make when you're in this business. Some companies will pay you for the entire time from which you log in to the time you log off. From the time the trip ticket starts to the time the trip ticket ends. It's not always so in all companies. I'm not saying it is with this one, because it's not. We get paid a flat rate per day. And I'll be honest with you, I've turned in some rather lengthy timesheets for a given calendar day, all within the legal parameters, somewhat as best as possible, because I remember a few times I've gotten that 2-hour extension on my log more often than not. However, rather than snivel about it, I look at the big picture. I look at where I live. I look at the fact that I'm about 10 to 15 minutes away from the equipment. And once I do that, I'm assigned to that equipment until I relay it over to the next driver. So, and I look at what I actually do. I'm actually driving. And I'm I'm interacting with the passengers, sure. Yeah, that goes without saying. That's part of the job. It comes automatic to me. Interact with the group, lay out the parameters and the guidelines, ensure a safe trip. It's common sense. So after all that's done, of course, the equipment has been certified and approved to be safe. The rest comes easy. Just have to be alert enough and fit enough to make it down the road. All that stuff is what I'm visualizing each trip out. Every time I get a trip ticket, I do some research, I glance over it, take a look at some maps, even look at the location itself on, on Google Earth, just to try to define the ingress, make contact with the driver that's relieving my position, let them know the parameters. In this case, I'm letting them know that I'm going to send a voice call. I'm going to call them in about an hour and a half out, which is customary, hour and a half. I'll let them know I'm going to call them when I'm incoming from an hour and a half out. Then I'm going to text them when I actually pick up the group and make any subsequent stops along the way. And I'm also making note of the time on my watch to make sure that I don't wake them. Make sure that they get some rest, because the onus is on them to get the rest. And as professional that I know this person is, they're ready to do it. They're just waiting on me to bring the bus up to them. So my part's easy. Make initial contact with the group, facilitate the pickup, and proceed to the relay point. That's simple. The other step is to come back in a company vehicle the following day, because I have another trip scheduled for 2 days from now. It's it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle is what it is, but it does not have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be puzzling. You just have to think it through. Whew. Almost home. So my next plan of action is get myself something to eat, take a nap, get rested, get up and shower, get my hair together, get dressed, and head over to the yard. It's all easy. Have a good day, y'all.